Mario Kart Wii was released in North America on April 27th, 2009, and is the 6th installment in the Mario Kart series. This game is one of the best-selling video games of all time, which was probably because of the success of the Wii. This game introduced many new additions, including 12 racers at the same time, bikes, ability to trick off ramps, and one of the most groundbreaking additions in the Mario Kart franchise, which was the inclusion of motion controls. Driving a car with motion controls was a huge selling point. There was also that hunk of plastic called the Wii Wheel, but we won't get into that. The game also included a great selection of new and retro tracks. These tracks were the strongest selection of tracks at the time, and these tracks made the game more enjoyable. In this video, I will be talking about my top 10 favorite Mario Kart Wii tracks. I played through the 16 new tracks added in the game, and I ranked my favorite tracks based on aesthetics, music, and how fun the track is to race on. I also used a Wii Remote to play the game, so I can get the full Mario Kart Wii experience. With that being said, let's get into the video. Number 10. Number 10 on my list of favorite Mario Kart Wii tracks is Toad's Factory. This track is set inside and outside of a factory owned by Toad. This track looks good and has some good music. This track has some great obstacles, like the conveyor belts pushing you one way or the other, and the hydraulic crushing machines that can crush you if you are not careful. There is also this section where the platforms are moving, which is a nice obstacle. This section also has some boxes that you can run into. If you run into them, they will break and an item will come out of it, which is a great touch. Also, did you know that Toad's Factory makes item boxes? I did not know that until I was on the wiki page for Toad's Factory. Going back to the track itself, there is another section that you can drive on a conveyor which takes you to a room with red alarms going off with smoke. This section then leads outside the factory. The last section, however, is my least favorite, which is the mud section. I get stuck there all the time, and it is a struggle for me because I am pretty bad at Mario Kart. Overall, a pretty good track. Number 9. Now on to number 9 on my list, which is DK Summit. This track is a snowy mountain, which is a popular skiing destination with a lot of shy guys skiing around. DK Summit looks good and has some boppin' tunes. There are so many fun sections in this track. The track has a cannon that launches you to the mountain. There is another section that you can trick off these tiny hills. Hitting tricks off these tiny hills is very fun. Then there is a section where you are trying to avoid snow piles while all these shy guys are going off a bunch of half pipes. Speaking of half pipes, there are a lot of them. There are so many of them, and it is fun to hit a trick off of them. The obstacles you have to avoid include the shy guys skiing and the piles of snow that will slow you down. These piles are annoying to get stuck in, and I get stuck in them often because I cannot drive. Don't tell that to my driving instructor. Overall, a very fun track with some radical half pipes. Number 8. Number 8 on my list is Wario's Gold Mine. The track is a gold mine owned by Mr. Big Muscles himself, Wario. This track has some great visuals with pipes and houses in the background at the start of the track. The music is also pretty good. You start by driving on these railroads that then lead you to the actual mine. In this mine, there are carts carrying gold. I've run into these carts many times and they can be annoying if you suck at the game like me. Then after leaving the mine, you cross a thin pathway to the finish line. This track also includes many half pipes which include items. These can be helpful for a speed boost and a free item. There are also many obstacles. The mentioned carts carrying gold and these bats when you enter the cave. These bats are pretty annoying. This track also includes a shortcut by following one of the carts to the secret section with some boost pads. There is also an ultra shortcut on this track, but we won't get into that. This track is very cool and shows you Wario's love for money. Number 7. Now let's go to the track of the shrooms with number 7, Mushroom Gorge. Wait, that sounded bad. The track of mushrooms, not shrooms. That sounded really bad. I don't smoke shrooms, I promise. Anyways, this track is a mountainous location with a bunch of mushrooms that you can bounce off of. There are 2 different mushrooms. The green ones do not bounce you, while the red ones do. In the later installments, there is a blue one that you can bounce off to use your glider. The visuals in this look great, and the music fits the track very well. For the actual driving part of the track, there are some cool sections. There are speed ramps that lead you to the mushrooms that you can bounce off of. Then you drive into a cave, which is filled with mushrooms that you can bounce off of. The cave looks really cool with all of the colorful mushrooms. You then bounce across the cave and then make it onto land. It is very easy to fall into the dark pit while bouncing off these mushrooms in the cave. I have fallen off at least once every time I have raced on this track because of getting hit with an item or just missing the next mushroom I needed to bounce on. This track is great and a good time to race on. Number 6. Number 6 on my list is Koopa Cape. This track seems to be an island owned by Koopa Troopa himself. The track has great visuals with the waterfalls in the background. The track starts with you driving off a ramp and into an enclosed area with Goombas. After that, you then drive down a water path which makes you drive faster. Then you go down a pipe which takes you down in an underwater tunnel. This is my favorite part of the level and is very creative. There are many pipes with eels coming out of them in the distance. When you are driving through the pipe, the water makes you go really fast and you have to dodge the Koopa Zappers. Yeah, that's what the electric things are called. It's very weird. Anyways, it is very fun to speed down the pipe and dodge the Koopa Zappers and see the eels swimming around. There are also more half pipes you can go off of, which is very fun to do. The only downside in my opinion is the music. I think it's only okay and not as good as the other songs in the game like Coconut Mall and Maple Treeway. Overall, a very awesome track with creative ideas. Number 5. Number 5 on my list is Grumble Volcano. This track takes place inside and outside a volcano. The track looks great and looks like the lava levels from the new Super Mario Bros. Series. You start by going into a volcano and there are lava falls, like waterfalls but with lava. And there are towers which look like the towers from the new Super Mario Bros. Series. You then drive through a tunnel with 2 alternate paths that lead you out of the volcano. You then drive onto more platforms with a split path. While coming out of the volcano, fireballs from the volcano in front of you shoot out onto the track. This is really cool to see and a cool obstacle. The coolest part of the track is that the track will crumble more and more as you race. This is a very cool concept and makes the track more challenging as the race goes on. The music is also pretty decent on this track. There is also a popular ultra shortcut on this map, but I am not good at Mario Kart, so I do not have footage of this shortcut. Overall, this track is the most creative track in the game and is very fun to play. Number 4. Moving on to number 4 on my list, which is Maple Treeway. This track takes place in a forest during autumn. The track has you driving on tree branches, on top of a tree, and in a tree, which I did not know until I looked up the track on Google. The track fits the theme of fall very well with the trees, cabins, and other objects in the background. This track also has some boppin' music. It's so good. The track has some memorable sections, include driving on a tree top avoiding wigglers, driving on a wobbly bridge that allows you to trick off of it a lot, taking a cannon through the track to see all the trees, driving inside of a tree and on the branches of a tree. There are so many memorable sections in this track and this makes the track one of the best in the game. Another cool thing in the track is that if you drive through the leaf piles, items will come out of the pile, which is a cool add-on. This track is beautiful and is so fun to race on. Number 3. Now we are in the top 3, and number 3 on my list is Bowser's Castle. The track takes place in, well, Bowser's Castle. The name of the track kinda gives it away. In this track, you first start by taking a ramp down a rickety bridge. This then leads you into Bowser's Castle. You then drive through a wavy hallway. This hallway is really awesome to drive through. You then keep driving to avoid thwomps. You then make it to my favorite section of the track, which is Mecha Bowser spitting fireballs at you. I do not know why he's called Mecha Bowser, but he looks like a statue. You then drive past him and drive up through the castle. When you make it outside, there are lava geysers that are spewing out of the ground that you have to avoid. This track has many obstacles, including thwomps, fireballs, lava geysers, and fire bars. The sheer amount of things you have to avoid makes this track very fun and challenging. The track also looks great and fits the theme of a final boss. The music also fits that theme with the creepy and ominous music. There are also half pipes you hit, which is fun. There are so many fun and cool details in this track, which makes it so fun to race on. The sheer chaos also helps with this track being fun to race on. Overall, an amazing track that represents a final boss perfectly. Number 2. Number 2 on my list is Rainbow Road. This track takes place in space and has you race on rainbow stripes. This Rainbow Road, in my opinion, is one of the best in the Mario Kart series. The track first starts with you going down a 90-degree pathway down as you hit many boost pads. Then there is a wobbly bridge that you can trick off of a lot. Then there is a straightaway with holes in the middle of the track. You also get blasted upwards by a launch star. There is also a section where you can hit a half pipe to the other section of the track. There is also a cool feature to this track. If you fall off, you will burn up and fall into the abyss as a weird meteor. Lakitu then takes you back on the track and you are smoking. Not that type of smoking. He does not just spawn back on the track with a cigarette in his hand. This is a cool feature that adds to the space theme. The visuals are incredible and they're best in the game. They look like they went with a Mario Galaxy theme, and it definitely worked. The Starbit looking pieces and Saturn casually sitting in the background. These details make the track amazing. The music is great as well, and it fits the track well. This Rainbow Road is one of the best in the series and is one of the best tracks in Mario Kart Wii. Before we move on to number 1, let's include an honorable mention. This honorable mention is Daisy's Circuit. This map takes place in a seaside town and kinda has a resort theme. The music on this course is amazing. There is also a cool statue in the middle with Luigi and Daisy. There is also the Daisy Cruiser in the background of the track. Racing on the track, however, is fine. It's just like racing on a normal circuit map. It's fun to race on, but the concept is not that creative. However, this map is very underrated and deserves an honorable mention. And now, number 1. Now, the number 1 Mario Kart Wii track in my opinion is Coconut Mall. You should have known it was number 1. This track is amazing. We first have to talk about the music. It is the best song in the game, hands down, Don't At Me. It might have gotten number 1 just because of the music, if you ask me. Now, let's get on to the track itself. The track represents the mall theme very well, and the mall is located in Aldefino. You could probably tell with the piantas all over the map. There are also many stores in the mall, including cafes and other shopping locations. The track sections are also very memorable. This includes driving up and down escalators, tricking off of water fountains, metal passageways you drive down, going off a ramp that takes you to the parking lot, and many more. There are also many split pathways which allow you to explore the mall even more. Another great thing about this track is the posters and advertisements. They are great and slap your Mii's face on them sometimes. These posters can look really funny with the different Mii's on them. Speaking of your Mii's, at the end of the track you have to avoid Mii's driving a car back and forth. This is an awesome obstacle in the game, and too bad they ruined it in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This track is the best in the game, and no one can change my mind about that. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked what you saw, consider subscribing to see more of my videos. Also, let me know how you'd rank your favorite Mario Kart Wii tracks. I'd like to know your guys' favorite tracks. Just don't kill me because I didn't put your favorite track in number 1. I'm sorry if I didn't. We all have different opinions here. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Bye!